What the hey, MegaPodTastic's Crazy Joe. It's been a while. It's been a while since I've done a video like this. A lot of the health challenge updates I've been doing lately. But we're here to talk about movies again. Let me center myself a little there. Hey, that's better. So a movie came out about a week ago, Ready Player One. Bam. Ready Player One. And we need to talk about this. This is the first of two videos. This is going to be the spoiler-free video. I'm going to do a second video where we're going to talk spoilers. This is the book, Ready Player One. I read it about a year and a half ago to 2 years ago. Not this exact one, of course, because this has the movie poster on it. That version wasn't out a year and a half ago to 2 years ago. But I read the book. I loved the book. If you haven't heard of the book, it came out in 2011, and it kind of immediately got a buzz about it. People rave about this book. People love this book, and I'm one of them. I've never heard anyone say they did not like this book who read it. Everyone who's read the book pretty much agrees that this is fantastic from everything I've seen. It's just beloved. This creates a little bit of a problem because anytime you have a book that popular, you're going to make changes. You got to make changes. The book is not going to be the same as the movie. The book can't be the same as the movie. Usually, that's all books. A book and a movie are two different animals. You have to adapt one into the other. So that's just sort of the case across the board when you adapt a movie or book into a movie. This one even more so, because this book is very, very much about pop culture, 80s pop culture in particular, and it is filled to the brim with references to pop culture, TV shows, movies, music, video games, you name it. Back to the Future is referenced in this book. War Games with Matthew Broderick is heavily referenced in this book. Pac-Man, Family Ties, the list goes on and on and on. Godzilla, Spider-Man, on and on. So the problem is that you're talking about things that have different license holders. And to get all those media licenses under one roof is an almost impossible task. So if the normal book is going to have changes, this book is certainly going to have a heck of a lot of changes. And I'm seeing a lot of the people who are very passionate about the book just lashing out against the movie because of these changes. I loved the book, so what did I think of the movie? I haven't even told you what I thought of the movie yet. I loved the movie. It was great. I think it's the best Steven Spielberg movie in about a decade. I really, really enjoyed it. I saw it twice already. And I wouldn't mind seeing it again, quite frankly, if I could find the time. Time is always the precious element that plays into these things. But I wouldn't mind going for another viewing. The changes from the book to the movie didn't really bother me because I expected them. The movie's by Warner Brothers, so I kind of anticipated that Warner Brothers was going to maybe trade out a lot of the pop culture references for things that they already own. And they did that. If you watch the trailer, you'll see the Iron Giant. The Iron Giant's not in the book. The Iron Giant is in the movie. Why? Warner Brothers owns them. You'll see Batman, the Joker, and Harley Quinn in the trailer. They're, to the best of my knowledge, none of them are mentioned in the book. It's been a couple of years, maybe they are. But what? Warner Brothers owns them. So yeah, now it's not to say everything is owned by Warner Brothers. They definitely have the DeLorean from Back to the Future Excuse me. There we go. I apologize, but I got the low battery warning, so that's why I'm leaning out there. The DeLorean from Back to the Future makes an appearance. That's obviously owned by Universal. They licensed that. Chucky, another Universal property. You may have seen him in the trailers. He shows up. So they did license some things, but they couldn't possibly license everything. So I knew that going in. So I was kind of okay with it. There's a lot of changes. The book, it's about, there's 3 keys hidden in a virtual reality world. If you haven't read the book, if you haven't seen the movie, and he has to go through challenges to get each of these keys. Just about every one of those challenges has changed from the movie, the book to the movie. The way I would put it is, this movie is very, very, very faithful to the spirit of the book. It's very faithful to the core story of the book. However, all of the details have changed. Now, I think that's okay for several reasons. For one thing, things have to adapt from one medium to the other. But also, if we look, I'm going to read a little bit of the book to you. Page 14 of the novel, where the main character, Parzival, Wade Parzival, is the main character, and he's telling us about the events that are about to transpire in this book, and this is what he says. Dozens of books, cartoons, movies, and miniseries have attempted to tell the story of everything that happened next, but every single one of them got it wrong. I want to set the record straight once and for all. So oddly enough, the movie being different from the book is faithful to the book, because the book says that the movie's going to be not the same as the book. I thought that was kind of cool. So it's a neat little thing. But yeah, if you're a Steven Spielberg fan, if you're a fan of 80s pop culture, man, I can't recommend Ready Player One enough. If you haven't read the book, don't be deterred. The book is different. It's a different journey than the movie. An example I gave is The Walking Dead. If you've read The Walking Dead comics and you watch The Walking Dead TV series, they're not exactly the same. Characters from the TV show, like, what's his name? Boondock Saints guy. Daryl. Characters like Daryl were not in the comic. Created exclusively for the TV show. So you have a few characters like that who aren't in the comic. They don't have a counterpart. So things will go like the comic to a certain extent. Then it'll veer off on a completely different direction. Then it'll eventually kind of find its way back to where the comic was. And then it'll go off in another way. So basically it's like you're taking the same journey but little different detours. So as my cat's about to make an appearance. He's over here. Here he comes. Hello. Hey, Jules. Takes you on the same journey, but on a different road, if you will. A different detour to get to the same location. And it's kind of cool because you don't quite know where the story's going. I mean, it keeps it from being predictable. If you have read the book, you might say, I know exactly what's going to happen next. But you don't exactly know what's going to happen next because of these minor little changes. And I think that's a cool thing. So that is my spoiler-free review. I highly recommend Ready Player One. I'm going to put up another video where we are going to talk a little bit about spoilers. So if you would like to delve more in to what I have to say about Ready Player One without fear of the spoiler, click on that video, which will be appearing soon. Keep on wearing those pajamas.